Embrace was started as an open community for mothers by mothers. Vision is to form a supporting community that offers services and knowledge base to parents and children with special needs in an efficient manner. We are a team of special educators, counselors, psychologists, ABA therapists, occupational therapists, and many more volunteers. So what do we offer? We the services offered are the free counseling sessions, which is done for parents of special need children, and we do have webinars for professionals, parents and professionals, which help both of them to enhance their skills and help the children. And we provide resources and informations where we give again which help parents and professional to help the children and who are in need. So regarding today's speakers. I'll just introduce them. So here we have one second. Nandita Reddy, the head of Department Learners Center, Spastics Society of Karnataka. She has been working with Spastic Society of Karnataka for past 17 years as a special educator. Students with cerebral palsy, autism spectrum disorder, ADHD, learning disabilities, slow learners and dropouts from the regular schools are included in classes at Learners Center. She helps student taking up NIOS examination at secondary and senior secondary levels. She has taught the subject data entry operations for NIOS. She is also a coordinator for NIOS. She is responsible for conducting NIOS PCP, that is Personal Contact Program classes, and NIOS examinations twice a year. Her educational qualification is she has done her BE in Industrial and Production, B.Ed certification course in Inclusive Education, Diploma in Computer Application. She has attended various workshops, life skill training, etc. And it is immense pleasure to introduce another speaker of the day, Mr. Maximin Jose. He is a program director for therapy services. Profession, he is an occupational therapist. Experience of 20 years in assessment and management of children with neuromuscular and developmental disability, band community based rehabilitation. He has specialized in assessment tools, sensory profile, handwriting assessment, and visual motor integration. He is a teaching faculty for Diploma in Special Education and Cerebral Palsy, recognized by RCI. He is a life member of All India Occupational Therapy Association. A warm welcome to both of you from Embrace team, sir. And Nandita ma'am, it's over
Yeah.
to you, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I'll be talking more about NIOS, and just to begin with, I'll just speak about learning difficulty and then go ahead with NIOS. So what is learning difficulty? So it's a condition that can cause an individual to experience problem in the regular classroom. So it's not something experienced just in for a day or two, but over a period of time. So how do we identify this? So generally, a teacher will find that this child is not doing the work in class for some time. They try different ways, and still the child is not performing. So then uh, they will probably refer them to professionals who will help you identify the cause of the learning difficulty. So the professionals who help in this are the medical social worker, the occupation therapist, the speech therapist, the psychiatrist, and then of course the special educator, psychologist, pediatrician. There can be so many people who help you to identify this. In the next slide, please.
Sure, ma'am.
So what I will cover in this presentation is just I'll just tell you what most of you will be aware of this, but all the same, specific learning disabilities, global learning difficulties, what is the two types which I deal with, and then I'll go more into what we do at our center and why we chose NIOS. Next, please. Next slide, please. Indu, next slide. Yeah, so I'll just tell you the difference between the two. So specific learning disabilities and global learning difficulties. Next slide, please. Okay. So most of us have heard about SLD, that is specific learning disability, and dyslexia. Dyslexia is very commonly used. They use it interchangeably like for SLD and dyslexia, though it is dyslexia is one of the kind of specific learning disability. So when we say specific learning disability, the child will have a difficulty in one area or maybe two, but the child will be of normal intelligence. And the difficulty, if it is in the area of reading and related to language-based processing, then we call it dyslexia. If it is related to math, we'll call it dyscalculia. If it's related to handwriting and fine motor skills, we'll call it dysgraphia. And there are many, many more, but right now, just to understand what specific learning disability is, I've just given an example of these three. Next slide, please. Next slide, Indu. Yeah. So when a child has specific learning disability, the child will be it will be identified by professionals, and then it's possible to give remedial sessions, and the child can still continue attending classes in the normal school setup, and the child may improve. And what we call these remedial sessions, they can probably do it in a resource room in school, or they may be availing it in another place after school. The special educator in the school may sit in the classroom and help out the child. So there are different ways of having to help the child. And when it comes to high school children with SLD, and they are ready to take exams, there are many accommodations.
Hello, Nandita ma'am.
Yeah. I continue? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have taken out. 1 second, ma'am.
Yeah, sure.
Sorry for the inconvenience.
That's
Please.
okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. So a child with SLD can avail many accommodations, concessions, relaxations in various boards like CBSE, ICSE, SSLC, and they continue in the normal school setup. So the exemptions which are common to most of the boards are exemption of the second language, allowance of extra time, use of an amanuensis, that is the scribe, and also they can have the provision of a reader. These are the things which SLD can avail of. So they don't really have to go to a setup where and leave the normal setup and go to any other kind of special school. Next, we go to global learning difficulties. As the word suggests, global, it's the child will have difficulty in many areas, most of the areas, a wide range. So it's a wide term that refers to students who struggle with most aspects of learning. Uh, when we say most or aspects, it could be reading, writing, math, etc. So, what happens is the child will not learn uh, whatever they are supposed to at the age where others will learn it. Suppose they are in grade 2, if the class performance is at some level, this child will probably be performing at a much lower level. So they have general developmental delay, which means that they reach their developmental milestones much more slowly than their peers do and learn much more slowly. Okay. Next slide, Bindu. So we just covered SLD and GLD. Now I'll just talk about learning difficulties. That is the typically the setup, the learners center which we have in our spastic society, where we are doing all this with our group of children. Next slide, please. So what are the difficulties experienced by students with learning concerns? Uh, Most of the children have a difficulty in understanding basic concepts. And when we say basic concepts, it will be in the, especially in subjects like maths and science. So that is one of the areas. And then problem acquiring basic skills like reading, writing, and numeracy. And I think I've repeated that point. Limited communication skills. That is another area. Difficulty with personal organization. So they don't know when they should probably, start studying, or even on a day-to-day basis, they don't know how to keep their books, at what time to get ready to school, everything. So poor auditory or visual memory. So that also comes in the way of learning. Poor long-term and short-term memory, difficulty remembering what has been taught. So this is one area because of which they have difficulty in performing in an exam. Then speech and language delay, that also will lead to their learning concerns. Emotional and behavioral difficulties is another area, and lack of social skills in general. The next slide, please. So how can we help children who have learning concerns? So there's something we can do on a day-to-day basis all the time, at home, at school, and some points are related very much to academics. So children with learning concerns, and when I say learning concerns, I'm referring to global learning concerns, will have to be helped with setting up a routine and structure. Probably they are not independent enough to do it themselves, so we need to help them set it up. And then we need to give children the responsibility of doing things, building on the child's knowledge and understanding. What we say, the previous knowledge. We need to check what is the previous knowledge of the child before we start imparting something new to the child. Giving clear instructions is absolutely essential. Checking understanding at every stage. So this also applies in a classroom setup. Carefully planned and differentiated work broken down into small manageable tasks, regular reinforcement of tasks to be mastered, and the opportunity to practice and apply skills in everyday situations. So, in related to academics, which we are doing most of the time, building on the child's knowledge and understanding. When I say this, what I mean is, uh, so when we have, for example, when we have a child coming into us for admission, so we're looking at the child and seeing their educational assessment to see. So an educational assessment will have the different levels of the child in reading and concept understanding and spelling. So based on that, we are going to build on the child's knowledge. We'll accommodate the child in a particular class based on that. Then giving clear instructions, careful questioning to ensure the child knows what is expected of them and of the task. So this is necessary as to carry even inside a classroom. We can't say, okay, now take out your book, turn to page 15, and we'll start the lesson. They'll have difficulty in understanding. We have to say, didn't give more. What do I say? Clear instructions in the sense. Do you remember what we did yesterday? Try to get the child's focus to it, and then give instructions. Then checking understanding at every stage. So we can't do like we do a lecture in a regular class and the teacher can't be in a hurry to finish her portions and leave the class and go. Teacher is going to break down the lesson into smaller units and check if the children in the class are understanding. Carefully planned and differentiated work broken down into small manageable tasks. And the other point I covered, opportunities to participate and be fully included. This is another thing because it gives them their self esteem goes up when we plan tasks. I mean, we plan activities, and all our functions are such that we ensure that all the children are participating and fully included, be it the Independence Day celebration or a Sports Day celebration, anything, Teachers' Day celebration, everything. We have to give the child an opportunity to participate. We have to go down to the level as to what the child can do and give that task. Okay. Next slide, please. So this is typically what we do at our center. So the student teacher student ratio is 1:10. So the teacher knows every child, how to deal with every child, what are the difficulties of each child, and she goes down to the level of teaching, of understanding of the child. The student is placed in a class based on their academic level rather than the age, as I mentioned earlier. So we, on the basis of the educational assessment, psychological assessment, so we place the children according to their academic level. Then we have smaller group or one-on-one teaching by volunteers guided by teachers. In spite of having this teacher-student ratio, still some children will require that they need, one-on-one. So like an ADHD child, or maybe the child needs even simpler kind of explanation or needs help when they are writing. So for all this, we take the help of volunteers um, to take them forward. Reduce number of subjects, reduce duration of continuous academics. So especially when children come from the regular school where they, study 6 to 7 subjects and then they have so much of homework, all that. So we reduce the number of subjects. We, in the lower classes, we work more on improving their reading abilities, their spelling abilities, help them how they should understand and how to do something related to comprehension. And so the number of subjects are also reduced. So typically in a lowest class which we have, which is like grade 5, grade 6, we do English, a little bit of math, and we do EVS. We don't do more than that. At higher classes, we do a little 4 subjects. And then we have something called enrichment activities. We have art, music, dance, games, skill-related training, quiz, inter-school activities. All this, we prepare children for inter-school activities. So typically our classes are, we have academics in the morning, and in the afternoons, we have all these enrichment activities. At higher class levels, we have even skill related training like DTP, desktop publishing, then data entry training, or even some children interested can go in for tailoring classes, and art, painting. Many children have learned art and improved, those who are very good. So this is how we work with children who have learning issues. And all the strategies which I mentioned earlier in the previous slide, that also we follow in the class. Next slide, please, Indu. So now I'll just talk about why we chose NIOS for children with learning difficulties. Next slide, please. Yeah. So what is the full form of NIOS? National Institute of Open Schooling. And to whom does NIOS cater to? So it caters to a heterogeneous group of learners till pre-degree level. That is NIOS second, they call it NIOS secondary and NIOS senior secondary. Secondary is 10th grade, senior secondary is 11th and 12th grade. And NIOS is under the Ministry of Human Resource Development, Government of India. So NIOS has both academic and vocational courses. And NIOS programs pay special attention towards the requirement of first generation learners, physically, mentally, and visually challenged learners, and candidates from the disadvantaged sections of society. So, though the syllabus is in par with CBSE, they have many provisions which I'll be talking about. Why it caters to the first generation learners. For example, English is very simple. English language, English as a subject in the secondary level is pretty simple. So the first generation learner should not have a problem. And also they offer a whole lot of regional languages as a subject. So that also helps many of our learners. And that is the website, nios.ac.in. There's a lot of information on the website, and I understand it is difficult to navigate and find the information you require. So I can always tell you where to find what kind of information. For example, whether you need to find it in the academic prospectus or where else you need to go. There is a whole section for accommodations for the disabled. The next slide. Indu. So how is NIOS different from other boards? NIOS follows learner-centric approach of teaching through open and distance mode. Okay, so here we are using it for special children, but in many remote areas, people are using NIOS and they have a lot of benefit because they need to attend classes only because it is open and distance mode. They need to attend classes just for 15 sessions and then take up exams. So a motivated learner will definitely benefit from this. It offers a wide range of subjects in comparison to any other formal school. So when you go to the website, you see the regular subjects, that is the usual math, science, social science, all this. Then there are subjects like psychology, accountancy. There's something like uh, there are some new subjects included for music. Then painting is offered as a subject. So you can go to the website and have a look at that. Learners are free to choose subject combination as per their needs and goals. So it's no compulsion. So you can, you can probably start if you're good at, if the child is good at remembering facts and likes history or something like that, probably you can choose social science, as well as there's a subject called Indian culture and heritage, something like that. Okay. There is a subject called data entry operations, which I guess almost all the NIOS students choose because it has 60 marks for practicals and for 40 marks for theory. And nowadays it involves like Microsoft Office, and almost everybody learns that. Okay, so you can do any combination of subjects, especially at the 10th grade level. The learners study at their own pace from specially designed self-instructional materials. So if you go on to the website and go on to the online study material, you can select whether you want to look at the secondary material or senior secondary, and it is very, very well organized, the website, and you have the study material online. And since the lockdown, NIOS has revamped the website also. They have posted a video for each lesson. Earlier, we would search for the videos on YouTube, but now you can go to the website, and against each lesson, you can find the video available over there. And also, uh, some of the subjects are available in the regional language as well. Not all the languages, but I think about 7 to 8 regional languages. Uh, I
Shall I go to next one, ma'am?
Yeah, I can't really see the screen because I think something happened.
Okay, ma'am. No
Yeah,
problem. I'll do it again. Not an issue.
yeah, yeah.
Sorry for that.
No problem.
Can you see this, ma'am, now?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the learning is supplemented by audio, video, and face-to-face contact classes, which are held at the study center at centers in holidays and weekends. Okay, so this is like before the lockdown, every year we would do this, what we call the PCP classes, the personal contact program classes. So once a learner is registered with the center, they need to go on the weekends for the contact classes, because this is supposed to be a self-study mode of education. So they attend classes, and then we help them, we guide them as to how they have to do their assignments and submit it at the center, and then how they have to prepare for the practical exams. And there is some number of marks allotted for doing practicals and submitting it at the center. We guide them in all those aspects at the contact classes. And now, since the lockdown, the contact classes are being offered online also. The NIOS puts up a schedule, a daily schedule on their website, and the students can log in and watch those classes, because at the schools we are not able to conduct the classes. And there is something called credit carry forward in NIOS. Suppose a child has written an exam in SSLC or CBSE or ICSE, and for some reason has not performed, has been able to score in some subjects and pass, and has not been able to clear some subjects. So NIOS has this wonderful provision where you can carry forward the two subjects which you have passed, and then you can register with NIOS and complete the remaining 3 subjects of your choice. It need not be subjects which you have not cleared. So you have a choice to select different subjects and clear them. Uh, we've had many cases where children have done English and Kannada with SSLC, but they have not been able to clear maths and science and social science and the other subjects. So we register them, they carry forward these 2 subjects. Then we register them for data entry, home science, and business studies. These are some, we found that these subjects uh, can be much easily understood and children benefit from doing this.
Will I move, ma'am?
Yeah, yeah. Again, I can't see the screen actually. Yeah.
Why is happening? 1 second, ma'am. 1 second.
Yeah.
I hope you can see now, ma'am.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you, I guess, yeah, the other part I didn't say. So the registration for learners is valid for a period of 5 years, which is totally different from the other boards. So what happens is, suppose you register a child this year, and the first time the child can take an exam is in, say, April 2021. So what happens is, you have a period of 5 years from the time of registration to complete the course. So I'll just explain it as I go by. So again, why have we adopted NIOS for students who have learning difficulties? So the choice of subjects, that's the main reason we have uh, taken NIOS. Maths and science are dropped, can be dropped right away. So subjects with less concept understanding can be chosen. Like I mentioned earlier, we choose subjects like home science, business studies, data entry, of course, English, and the other subject is usually we do economics or Indian culture and heritage. So the reason for choosing home science and business studies is they are very relatable to our daily life. You know, like in home science, food and nutrition, the growth of a child, like the environment, how it affects, like the pollution and such things. So the child can relate very well to such subjects. And also home science has part of its marks for practicals. Also, again, pretty much relatable. For example, we have identification of the type of food, the different types of cooking. All this is something any child will relate to. And subjects like business studies again has topics like um, what is industry, what is commerce, what is the transportation, what is warehousing. These are things which we can make the child understand. Okay? So that's the reason. Unlike science, which is very has a lot of concepts to understand and remember. The other option in an iOS is you can opt to do only one language. You can just select English and you can take 4 other subjects. Okay? And the another thing is change. You can change a subject, or you can opt for an additional subject even after you register for the first time. So after you finish your registration process, you started studying some subject and you felt you should have chosen, say, another subject instead of this. So you can change that subject, or you feel you may want to do that subject after 1 year or so, but you want to try to do some additional subject. So up to 7 subjects you are allowed to choose. So to get a proper 10th certificate, you need to have minimum of 5 subjects, and you can have a maximum of 7 subjects. Then there is also Okay, flexibility to complete the course in 5 years from the time of registration, like I said. So if you register now, you'll probably take up the exam in April for the first time. So that will be the first time you write the exam. And then the exam you can write for the next 4 years. So you'll have 9 attempts to write an exam. So how this, you may wonder how this helps. So we've seen in the past again, some of the children who have this ability to rote learn, or some children who are busy with, say, some other activities, opt to write one subject, uh, will study one subject for about 6 months and take up the exam for that subject. So by the time the next exam comes, they will prepare for that next subject. So we've had in the past some of the children with autism. The mothers have worked with them in that fashion, and they have cleared the exam in a period of 3 years. Okay? And you can opt to do one vocational subject and four academic subjects. Actually, there is a provision in NIOS to do two vocational subjects and three academic subjects also. But at our center, we don't have a second vocational subject to offer. We offer what is called baking as one of the vocational subjects. So many of our children who have had difficulty with academics have done English, home science, business studies, and data entry. And as their fifth subject, they have done baking. And after completing both the courses, when you write a request letter to NIOS and submit these original mark sheet, you get one consolidated mark sheet which has all the subjects mentioned in it. So that is a very good option for children who have severe learning difficulties. Then the option to write an exam 2 times a year, hence flexibility, like I mentioned. Uh, Children can take up the exam if they prepare for one for 6 months, and then they can write the exam. Then they can think of preparing for the next subject. Also to mention here, in our center, we do 10th over 2 years. Again, the reason being, we don't want to pressurize the child. Too much of, if we, if we expect them to learn all the 5 subjects in 1 year and give the exam, we found that it is very difficult. So we've adopted this system where we teach 2 subjects a year, and they give the exam at the end of the year. And we do 3 subjects in the next year, and they give the exam at the end of that year. So our children take 2 years to finish 10th grade. Also, in open schooling, there is no compulsion of attendance. You're expected to attend the PCP classes and submit some practical records and all that. Otherwise, it's not attendance is not counted. So it's suitable for people who pursue sports, skill training, hobbies, part-time jobs. So we've, especially in our senior secondary, the children whom we coach for senior secondary, in the afternoon, most of them undergo skill training, and some of them also go in for part-time jobs. Okay. Next slide. That's so, in continuation, there are lots of provision for learners with disability during the NIOS exam, and all this is given very well in the NIOS website. So here I've just given the link, and just to name a few, extra time is something for generally a theory paper is up to 3 hours, and some papers are shorter. So for every 1 hour, the learner gets 20 minutes of extra time. And they can have a scribe, then they can have a reader. So there is a process for doing this. Yeah. So if a person has to avail these facilities, they have to have a certificate from a government organization or an organization like Spastic Society, or there are like the All India Institute of Speech and Hearing, all the central government, state government, or centers like ours, there should be a certificate saying that the child has this difficulty. Then they can avail a lot of accommodations during exams. Also, based on the child's difficulty, you can mm, avail something like even typing the answers on the computer. And for actually, a lot of these recommendations are given on the website. Uh, if you have questions, then I will answer it at the end of it as to how you can avail these things, what is available for which kind of disability. Okay. And NIOS has special accredited institutions for education of the disadvantaged to cater to the needs of physically and mentally challenged people, socially and geographically isolated and disadvantaged sections of society, such as street children, working children, rural women, and SC/ST. And Spastic Society of Karnataka is a SAIED for secondary courses. And that's the reason when most of the children register, children with difficulties, persons with disability, they will be allotted our center. And the reason for that is also we've been doing it for many years. For the children who have physical challenges, we have a ramp. We are working with a very, what do I say, disability friendly infrastructure. And so these are some of the reasons that we are at SAEIT. Next. Yeah, I'm done. Yeah, I'm done. Yeah.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Just a minute, ma'am. I'll just take out the questions.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Parents, you can start posting your questions in the chat box. Okay. Ma'am, there is a question
Yeah.
asking that education path after 12th grade, limitations, if any, in terms of eligibility.
So there are some colleges uh, who are not recognizing NIOS, but NIOS is fighting for it. Actually, from even recently, we experienced a case like that. So NIOS comes into picture. The regional center will come into picture. They will talk to them. They will inform. They are not supposed to reject, but what has happened is some of the autonomous colleges are not accepting, but to many are accepting. To name Christ University, Jain University, New Horizon College, all these are places where our children have gone to. St. Anne's College, Maharani's College, then NMKRV College, Arts and Degree College, NMKRV Arts and Degree. These are places children have gone to. Even Chitrakala Parishads, they have run a BFA course, Bachelor of Fine Arts. All these are places where children have gone to. Very few will say we don't accept NIOS.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, there is a question from one of the parent asking, typing the answer on computer is also option, like they are
Yes, yes.
asking.
Yeah. So there is a procedure, like I mentioned. The first part is to avail anything, any accommodation, you should have a certificate stating that the child has a difficulty, is a special child. And that has to be, it's from a certified agency, certified government agency, or they have quoted, like it can be from Spastic Society. Now it says in the website. So now, since this year, even a certificate from us is accepted. But that is just to avail the facilities. Now, when you need a child, what is the reason for a child to want to type the answer on a computer? For that, you need a government doctor to examine the child and certify. There is a medical certificate format available on NIOS website. So that has to be filled by the doctor and say, and the doctor has to say that this child should be given the provision of typing. This child should be given the provision of extra time. This child should be given the provision of scribe. like that. So when you read the accommodations available on the NIOS website, it says you can, in fact, you can bring your own laptop, only that the center in charge will look at it to see if there is no software which aids in the exam. But you can bring your own laptop, you can type it, and I also have done it before. With all these permissions, you have to approach NIOS. NIOS then gives you a letter and gives us a letter. So this child has to be given this provision. So make these things available. You know, a room, continuous power supply, all these things. And then the child will type the answers on the laptop, and then we will print it out. We will do the needful putting the seal and all that, and we will be sending it across just like an answer sheet. So it is possible, but before that you have to take the permission from the regional center along with all the necessary documents.
Ma'am, they have lot of questions asking that do they have the NIOS center in Pune, Gurgaon, Mumbai? So many of them have asked like
Yeah.
is it available in the website or like how
Yes,
it is, ma'am?
yes. Yeah, it is available on the website.
Mhm.
Uh, you have to go into the admission section. Right now, so go into the NIOS admissions link, and from there you can go for when you want to register, you search. Actually, it's a little. All the information is available on the website.
With
So
details of the center also, ma'am, like in Odisha, everywhere I think it is there, no?
yeah,
Pune,
yeah, it's there.
Gurgaon.
It's there. Yeah, yeah, it's
Okay,
there.
many people have asked for it. That's why I asked, ma'am. Okay, thank you for that.
Okay.
There is
Okay.
another question here.
Hmm.
Ma'am, my son is NIOS and he has joined NIOS. He's
Hmm.
13 plus. He
Hmm.
is studying English, home science, business, data entry, and economics. He
Okay.
likes to study math, so
Hmm.
I'm teaching him math. Will
Hmm.
he get an added advantage if he continue maths in his 10th exam?
Yeah, probably because if he is able to cope with that maths, it's a good option to take, because in future you can plan for him doing something in like commerce group like accountancy with include accountancy. So it will help. It will help.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. What is the procedure for to take a writer during exam? They mean scribe, ma'am. What is the
Yes, yes.
procedure they want to know?
Yeah, so the procedure will be like I said, for again, for everything you need to have a certificate saying the child has difficulty, and then you have to see a doctor, government doctor, who will, based on the diagnosis, will examine the child and say this child needs a scribe because of, I mean, he will quote and say for what reason, or that will already be there in the diagnosis. So based on that, he has to recommend that the child needs, a scribe. Actually, is it possible for me to present anything?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, you can do it, ma'am.
The, I'll just try once, just to show the page where they can access all this information.
Definitely, ma'am. Definitely. It will
Yeah.
be a great help if you do that. You want me to guide you on that?
So I have it as one of the tabs. I'll just try
Sure,
once,
ma'am.
and if I
Sure, ma'am.
can't,
Sure.
I'll ask you for it. Help.
Sure, ma'am. That would be great.
Are you able to see anything? No?
No, ma'am.
No, no. Okay, I'll just go back.
Ma'am, you can send it to me through WhatsApp so that I can present that and you can tell the audience if it's
Yeah,
possible now.
yeah. I'll just send it to you. Can you open the NIOS website itself? nios.ac.in.
1 second, ma'am.
Yeah,
Just give me a minute.
yeah.
Okay. NIOS dot.
AC.in.
Okay.
The page will come up. You can present that page and then I'll
Yes,
just,
ma'am. Sure, sure. I'll do that. I'll do that, ma'am. One second. Give me a moment. Hope you can see this, ma'am.
yeah. So this
Yes.
is the main web site of NIOS. Yeah, I can just go down and
Yes, ma'am.
further down, uh,
Yes.
further, further down. Yeah. So you can see that over there, provision for learners with disability. There's a link, that blue thing.
Okay.
In important links in the right side column, the second last one. Yeah, that provision for learners with disability.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you
This
can
one,
just
right?
click on that. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And then you can see that, so here you have in the first page, it says provisions for learners with disability during examination, and a whole lot of, is for different disability, it's listed as to what you can avail for a child. Okay. So you can go through that. And then here, the next heading is various formats. So in that, it's application by the parent, study, a certificate issued by study center. So all these are also what you need to go through. I just need you to click on medical certificate.
Sure, ma'am. Sure.
Yeah.
Can you see this, ma'am?
Not yet. You need to click on that. I think the PDF will open. Yeah.
Yeah, PDF has come.
Yeah. So this is the medical certificate which needs to be issued by a government doctor. So all these details will be entered and a little below. Yeah. So recommendations. So here the doctor will say what are the provisions which need to be provided during exam. So the doctor may quote like A, extra time, B, he may say scribe. Okay. Say, or the doctor may say as the child has limited hand function or whatever the reason, needs to write the answers, type the answers on a computer. So these have to be given by the doctor. I mean, it has to be, it's authentic only when they give us this medical certificate. Okay. You can
Okay,
just
ma'am.
go back and I'll just
Yes. You want me to?
just close this page and go back to the other. Yeah. So this is the procedure actually. You need to avail any accommodation, you have to do all these formalities. Okay. I mean, it's not anybody who can decide this. It has, the NIOS has a procedure for doing it. Okay.
Okay,
If
ma'am.
it's clear, we can get back to the parents later if they have difficulty in finding things on the website. If,
Okay, ma'am.
yeah.
There is another question. The parent is asking, like,
Hmm.
after which grade the
Hmm.
child should move to NOS and how to register?
Okay. After which grade? See, there's no, NIS doesn't look at the grade. NIS has a minimum age limit, which is when you're registering, the child should have completed 14 years of age. But if the child has learning difficulties at 14, it will be very difficult for the child to cope with an iOS syllabus. So, I mean, in the past experience, I've seen that at least a child should have seventh or eighth grade level of knowledge and understanding to take up an iOS exam. And I mean, that is my opinion. if you have a different way of working with the child, at 14 years you can register the child. Okay, NIS won't ask you for seventh pass, eighth pass. It will not ask you for that for registry. Okay.
Okay, so many questions are based on the same thing, ma'am. Like when
Okay.
we have to
Hmm.
enroll for NIOS.
Hmm.
Ma'am, there is a different question here
Hmm.
apart from NIOS.
Hmm.
They say, Madam, can a 5-year-old non-verbal child
Hmm.
diagnosed with ASD can be included in inclusive school?
5 years is 5 years, you mean?
Yeah, they have said 5 years. The parent has
I
quoted.
I don't think Maxi. I don't think that young we even tell children to go to a inclusive school, right?
Yeah, certainly. That again, as you were mentioning from the beginning, we need to go with the comprehensive evaluation and see.
Yeah.
You know, educational evaluation is needed,
Yeah.
and then speech evaluation also required. You
Yes.
know, check their comprehension skills, language processing,
Hmm.
and then
Ma'am,
probably with the shadow teacher, there are few children who are
Hmm.
in the mainstream schools,
Hmm. Yeah.
along with the shadow teachers.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Maxi.
okay, thank you, sir. Thank you for that. Ma'am, they're asking
Hmm.
without math, a child can take commerce after 10th.
Yes, they have taken
Mm-hmm.
without maths also. Many of our children actually have gone ahead, like they finished 10th with an iOS, then they have moved to PUC and they have taken maths. There are many who have taken, but always a previous knowledge is good. NIOS will not stop you from taking commerce without maths in 10th. NIS won't stop you, even PU colleges will not stop you, will
Okay.
not refuse you admission. Yeah.
Okay. Ma'am, there is an interesting question. I feel
Mhm.
everybody wants to know, like, what is the qualification? What qualification does a scribe need to have?
Yes. Oh, I forgot to mention that. So the scribe should be of a lower grade than the child. So suppose a scribe is writing for a 10th grade child, the scribe has to be ninth grade or below. It cannot be another 10th grade child or above 10th grade. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay. Ma'am, there is a question from one of the parent
Mm,
asking, my
mm.
child is 11 and she's not going to school from last year.
Okay.
She just started reading and writing. Can she follow NIOS syllabus now or NIOS starts from any grade specific?
It is just started reading, right? So, I mean, like I said earlier, uh, you need to have a educational assessment, assess the child to see what level the child is at. An iOS material is not, it's in par with any 10th grade material. Okay. So it's not easy to say like just started reading, then it will probably be tough. So I don't know if I mentioned earlier, children with learning difficulties do take. I had mentioned they take a longer time. So in our setup, uh, majority of the children are finishing secondary grade only by 16 or 17 years of age. Unlike outside, like in normal schools, they finish at 15 and 15 and a half. So it is, children take time. Children with difficulties will take time. That we should keep in mind.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, there is a question. My
Mm.
son is in mainstream school.
Mm.
After he got absence seizures at the age of 6, he's having issues with writing. So he dislikes writing, and they have issues with him. Sir. They want to move him to a NIOS syllabus.
Hmm.
So can yeah, ma'am, one second, I just lost the question.
Okay.
because the people are still getting in. Yeah, his interest in studies is also going down. How can I motivate him in that case, and how to move him to NIOS? From which class will it be possible? He's currently in sixth grade CBSE.
Okay.
He has writing issues, sir, Maximum sir.
See, then
So,
again, we need to really look into it, because children with seizure disorder not necessarily should have any motor coordination issues, neither fine motor issues. Seizure is a different, aspect of it, which generally doesn't affect the writing part of it. So, if it is only seizures, then I do have a strong belief that it's not going to affect the writing. Then again, we need to look into the other aspect of it, like psycho-educational thing, and to check
Yes.
how this language processing skills, spelling skills, all those things need to be checked. And then again, we giving to the advantage to the doubt, we can also do an occupational therapy evaluation to see that is there any motor coordination difficulties, fine motor coordination difficulty, which is coming in the way of holding the pen, and the speed of the writing, formation of letter, all those things need to be checked. But if the child is diagnosed with only seizure disorder, I don't think so. There won't be any physical issues which will come in the way of writing. You can add on, Nandita.
Yeah, yeah. It's always good to get a assessment done, the psychological as well as the educational assessment, to understand why the child is not able to or doesn't like being in the normal school setup. Okay.
okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you both for that. There is a question. Other than the given subjects on NIOS, is it possible to choose a condensed or alternate syllabus instead of subjecting our kids to exam anxiety amongst other challenges they already face?
Right now, I don't think there is anything, but with the new education policy, they're saying, but I don't know when it will be implemented. We
Okay.
are supposed to have a lot of vocational skills being included in the education system and all of that. So right now, I don't see anything alternate for the education system as such without exams. I mean, I don't see that here. In these
Okay.
boards, I don't see it.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, there's a parent asking the children
Hmm.
with autism, how can they choose the subjects? NIOS subjects.
Hmm. Again, the teacher and the parent will know the strengths of an autistic child, of their own child. Like I gave the example, some of the autistic children have very good abilities, like they may be good at language, and so suppose a child is very good at picking up languages, so they can choose two languages, and then they can choose, if they are good at rote learning and memory, they can probably choose subjects like that. Like I had mentioned earlier, Indian culture and heritage, social studies. uh, so we had this boy who did English, Hindi, social studies, Indian culture and heritage, and data entry operations. So we need to understand what the child is good at. Again, I guess if the parent or the teacher knows, it's fine. Or again, an evaluation, educational evaluation may help.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. Ma'am, they have a doubt actually. Is there any pre-assessment to be done if a child is ready for NIOS registration?
um, like uh, there is,
Then-
it's not a requirement from NIOS side. It's never, they've not asked. Like I said, the only thing NIOS wants is the child should be 14 years old. Okay, from NIOS side, it is not required, but you will usually, NIOS is like 10th grade, right? So the child should have that ability to do something in 10th grade. So when we look, so suppose someone comes to us for admission for 10th grade, so we're going to look at the educational levels of the child, and if the child is 7th or 8th grade, we still consider them for NIOS, but we tell the parent that if you give 1 or 2 years more of time, the child will perform better. Okay, so it's there's no hard and fast rule as such for NIOS, taking up NIOS.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. Ma'am, they're asking, is there any special provision for child with CP in NIOS?
Yeah, child with CP will get based again. The hand function will have to be evaluated. They'll have the provision for getting a scribe. They'll have the provision for extra time. Again, the doctor has to recommend these things based on the evaluation. But there are provisions for that.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
What is the right age for psychological assessment?
So, I don't know. Maxi,
Because there is a
how early?
question.
Uh, after 7 plus.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Seven
That's what
plus
they are
because
asking.
as
What is the
yes.
right age for psychological assessment? My daughter is 7 years old, and till today, everybody level her with global developmental delay. Or to know better, what difficulty our daughter have, which assessment we have to go for.
See, I feel, less than 7 years, any professional need not have to jump into any diagnosis as such, because what
Mhm.
we call it as the screening until then. The
Mhm.
proper evaluation can be done only after 7 years, because the scientific reasons behind that, the brain development, 99% of the brain development gets over only after by age 7. So it would be scientifically appropriate also to do an educational evaluation after 7 years. Until
Okay,
then,
sir.
there are assessments where we call it as screening.
Mm-hmm.
Educational screening could be done to
Okay.
pick up the difficulties of the child in the early stages, and we can start off with remedial sessions and things and so forth. But the proper diagnosis can be done only after 7 years, to say that whether the child has a specific learning or slow learning or global difficulties in learning could be done effectively only after 7 years.
Okay, sir. Okay. Ma'am, there is a question they're asking like, can
Hmm.
NIOS board go along with the new educational policy?
We have to wait and see how they're going to change. We have to wait for that.
Okay, ma'am. So
Yeah.
we are not sure of anything as of now,
Actually,
right?
I feel NIOS, especially the 10th grade, like I mentioned, it gives a opportunity for students to choose two vocational subjects and three academic subjects. So I feel that's in par with what the policy says, that, it shouldn't be totally academic and such things, right? So that is
Mm-hmm.
already there, but I'm sure NIOS also will implement when other boards will change their way, according to the policy.
Okay. Thanks for that, ma'am. And there is one of the, I think this is a very interesting question. For how long is the medical certificate given by a doctor is valid?
Yeah,
That's
so yeah, for
so at
okay.
what age? Yeah, at what
Uh,
age should the child be assessed to appear for 10th exams? Again, it's repeated. So till what? How long is the certificate is valid, ma'am?
See, earlier, the to get a disability card as such, the disability department used to do an assessment, and it was a booklet, and it used to be called the disability card, and it was valid for 10 years. Now everybody is going in for what we call the UDID, Unique Disability Identity Card. So that is being issued. They say that is valid for, again, I think it's valid forever. And I think again, once in 10 years, you have to update if there is any change. That's what I understand. So that is the certificate as such. So the disability card is valid. But when you take the different recommendations for the exam, like the certificate I showed you on the NIOS website, where the doctor recommends, that is valid only for 1 year. So if the child completes the exam within 1 year, suppose he writes two times, you can use the same medical certificate for both the exams. But if the child is writing over a period of 2 years or 3 years, then each time after 1 year, you have to take it once again because NIOS doesn't accept it.
Okay. There is one parent who is in confusion.
Hmm.
My child is in 8th standard and going to a mainstream school, normal
Okay.
school. We
Hmm.
completed his assessment and his age level is 8 to 9 years with SLD. Spastics recommended NIOS. Can I start NIOS syllabus for him now, being in normal school itself? School says they will ensure he clears 10 standard. Do I still go with NIOS or school? That is their confusion.
Which class is the child in?
He is already in 8th standard, but the assessment and his age level is 8 to 9 years with SLD, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, if the school is assuring, they must be. I mean, I'm just assuming are they allowing him to drop the difficult subjects, giving him a choice of taking other subjects. It's possible in ICSE and CBSE also. It's because many schools don't offer the choice. People think of moving from the school. But if the school is able to give the necessary change in subject and the accommodation, it is good to continue, I guess.
Okay. Ma'am, they're asking like, yes, Anuradha, you want to say something?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, good afternoon.
Yeah.
Ma'am, is the NIOS is valid for all the
Anuradha, your
government
voice is breaking. Your voice is breaking. We request you to type it and post it here. We can't hear you anything.
right?
Yeah.
The certificate is. You hear me, ma'am? If the
it's
child passes to NIOS, is the certificate is valid to go for his higher studies and for government jobs?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, Nandita ma'am, can I ask one question?
Yeah.
My name is Sini.
Yeah.
I am looking for this psychological and academic assessment for my daughter. Most of the places are closed now.
Yes.
How do I get the assessment done?
Yeah,
Where?
psychological is not being done, ma'am, because
Okay.
it requires, things to be handed over to the child and touch and all that is involved.
Yes.
Some places they are doing educational assessments online. Right, Maxi? We are also doing educational, right?
Yeah, psychological. Yeah, psychological also has been done.
Okay.
I don't know.
So whom should we connect? Same in the
Yes,
group?
I think so. Satakshi does psychological. Am I right, Nandita?
No. So only Mamta does psychological. Satakshi does educational. Yeah.
Yeah. Currently, Mamta is not available.
Yeah. She said that psychological is not being done.
Mhm.
Okay, Amudan sir, whom should I connect with? Should I ask this in the group for the contact or anything like that, if any available?
So you can contact Spastic Society, the general number, and then we will guide you according to that.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, ma'am, there is a question from one of the volunteer from our Embrace itself.
Okay.
In the current situation, Corona situation, I have a doubt. Without any difficulties or disorders, can parents just opt for NIOS? They will do homeschooling and make a child appear for NIOS. Is that allowed?
It is absolutely allowed. Actually, for the April 2021 exam, usually the registration closes by August end. But because of the present situation, they have extended the deadline for registration. So when you register now, the child can first take up the exam in April 2021. I mean, if the situation is okay, you can register. There's no restrictions on that. Only the age is the main thing. If the child is 14 plus, you can register.
Okay. Ma'am, they want to know higher education after class 10 through NIOS.
There is something called senior secondary, NIOS calls it. That is 11th and 12th. So only the way it works is not just like just like PUC, where in PUC, like suppose you choose the 5 subjects, you have a syllabus, they complete the 5 subjects in 1 year, and then you go ahead and you study more about the same subjects, you study the second PU level. Whereas in NIOS, it's called senior secondary, and you can finish senior secondary 2 years after you finish secondary. You can't finish in 1 year. So the time duration to finish senior secondary is 2 years. The rules are again the same, one language plus four other subjects. You can do senior secondary.
Okay. Maximum, sir, here is, I think this, the thing is the parent is in a confusion. So she's asking, should I focus on teaching writing skills to my child or typing?
See that, I mean, right away just can't give an answer for this without even evaluating the child.
Yeah.
Yes.
With the detailed
The
evaluation
age of
needs to
the
be done.
child is the age of the child is 10 years. Actually, it is compiled queries which we have collected from the registration forms. So she's asking for teaching writing skills or typing skills. Sir. I know it is difficult.
It is very difficult to just give, answers like that
Yeah,
without
yeah.
evaluating the child, because a lot of components need to be checked. Right?
Okay.
How much is the speed of his writing per let? I mean, we have a standardized norms of handwriting assessment protocol, like, per minute, how many letters the child could write, how legibly write. There are a lot of things need to be looked into.
Okay. Okay, sir. So it has to be detailed
Yeah.
information and
Only then
detailed.
we could come up with suggestions.
Okay. Ma'am, there is a
Yeah.
question asking like, how can NIOS system implement in remote areas of CWSN?
Remote areas,
Again, yeah.
even in Bangalore, what many people do is you register for NIOS, and then people are teaching small groups. They're just calling it learning centers, remedial centers, and you suppose you have you register 2-3 children. It's like a volunteer teaches them, something like that. And now with all the distance education, you can the online teaching and all that, you can impart knowledge in remote areas, I guess, because it's so necessary to go through the NIOS website actually and see the material. And lot of videos and self-learning material is available. So in remote areas, that is one thing. Or you form small groups, because you don't have to go for classes like I previously mentioned. You're registered with a center. You'll probably visit the center once to submit your assignments, and you'll do contact classes of around 10 or 15 contact classes. And then the next step will be to take up the exam. So teaching can happen anywhere. That's my opinion.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you for that. Ma'am, there is one question from one of the parent. She is asking like, for high functioning autistic children, without maths and science, can they go for engineering?
You cannot. See, even the other day I had one parent, I spoke to them, the whole family actually, I spoke to them for 1.5 hours. So the child is having difficulty with maths and science in school. So they want the child to drop maths and science, but they asked me if he gets interest, can he go and do PCMB in PUC? Then, I mean, how can you do something like that without a previous knowledge? That is in the PUC level. For engineering, it's a prerequisite that you need to have done science subjects and maths.
Okay. I have 10 years age daughter and have learning difficulties, but I'm not able to understand what exactly the reason. How can she evaluate it? We are staying in Kolkata. Please help. Please guide.
I'm sure they have to see the, what do you say, this,
Assessments?
yeah,
Like that?
assessments have to be done. Yeah, assessments have to be done.
Okay, ma'am.
If they have a provision to meet a developmental neurologist, they can get in touch with the doctor and get a proper diagnosis done. Or if the child is associated in a school, then the school could itself give a referral letter to the psychoeducationalist based on the difficulty what the child has. Then based on that, the assessment can go forward.
Okay, sir. Okay, so they have to meet a pediatrician or whatever.
Pediatric developmental neurologist.
Mm-hmm.
or even at times even psychiatrists could help them to come up with learning difficulties and labeling the
Okay.
appropriate difficulties what the child has.
Mm-hmm.
Or these are all some of the referral protocols we follow in spastic societies, that we get a letter from the school saying that the child has difficulties in reading, writing, so forth and such. And then there is another mode of referral comes from the pediatric developmental neurologist with a proper diagnosis saying that the child has learning difficulty or global learning difficulty or slow learning.
Okay, okay, sir. Okay.
These are all some of the referral procedures which we need to follow before we go with the
Okay.
official assessment.
Ma'am, one parent is so worried here. They are
Mhm.
telling that language is getting exempted. So, what will happen to his future? Clearing 10th is not only the need for his life, right? How to lay the track for his education future now? Please suggest.
See, you will drop the language only if you have a difficulty, right? You could still opt. It's not that if you choose NIS, you have to drop the language. You can still do NIOS with a language, especially when you have future plans. So you should do it with a language. So
Okay.
when we say drop the second language, we're talking about children who have real difficulties, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay, ma'am. Okay. Ma'am, they want to know what are the life skill courses are available in NIOS for SLD or dyslexic, or how to teach life skills when kid is in normal school. Any courses regarding that?
Courses as such. Usually, till now, what has happened, we have incorporated it. So teachers are trained to do life skills in class. That's what we do at our school. So all of us get trained to impart life skills in school. But I'll have to get back to you to tell, because life skills is something we don't do like a one-on-one session. It has to be a group session.
Yes. Most of
So
the
it
time
is.
it helps in groups actually.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So
With
it's done in schools. It should be ideally done in a school setup. Otherwise, I guess we'll call it counseling, right? If it's done on an individual session or something like that.
Okay.
So if there is anything like that, I will get back to you regarding an answer for
Definitely,
this.
ma'am.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Ma'am, there is a question from parent asking if the child is SLD and not doing second language, social science, maths, does it impact the child getting into any government jobs where the local language is needed like IPS?
Uh, yes, many government jobs need the local language. In fact, we've had people from the government offices taking up only the Kannada exam, especially the central government services when they are posted in Bangalore. It is necessary. So they study Kannada and they write an IOS one subject, and it is necessary. So if you're looking at government jobs, ideally you should do the second language.
Ma'am, my name is Anuradha. I only posted that question. My
Huh.
child is hearing impaired. Okay.
Okay, okay.
He is, so I had got the exception from Mysore. Second
Hmm.
and third language not needed.
Hmm.
He is doing good. He has been trained in English.
Hmm.
Math is very strong. Science and
Hmm.
social also he is doing.
Hmm.
Now he is able to read Hindi,
Hmm.
but he is not able to process and understand whether it is a noun,
Hmm.
take him to go for any government jobs, do I need to train him in Kannada or in Hindi?
That depends on where you're applying, ma'am. If you're applying at the state government level, then you'll need Kannada. And if it is at the central government level, I guess you'll need Hindi. But I'm not sure about this thing, ma'am. I'll have to find out if it is absolutely essential. You'll have to find out actually at what level of jobs you're looking. Is it really necessary? You'll need to find out.
No, no one knows the future scenario, right? If I
Yeah.
can get the language education, I can make him not to read and write. Still, he is understanding. I made him to read Hindi.
Hmm. So there is an option
The way
to.
he is coping up.
Hmm. There is an option to do the language even later, ma'am. You can always, if the requirement is absolutely required in the job, you can always get him to clear the language at a later date also. I don't think that will come in the way. At
Oh,
present,
okay. Even if he's getting some job in the government
mm,
sector, the
yeah,
local
yeah,
language,
yes,
he can
yes,
be in that speaker.
yes, you can do it later.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, they are asking. Mm, one second, ma'am. I just lost the question here.
Okay.
Yeah. Uh, uh, Give me a moment. Yes. Do you provide counseling for ASD mild spectrum child for NAOS in selecting subjects? Spastic. They are asking like counseling for ASD mild ASD
Hmm.
child who wants to opt for NIOS and needs help in selecting the subjects.
Uh,
Thank you, ma'am.
like I mean, whoever the teacher is will have a better idea about the
Okay,
student,
ma'am.
his
Okay.
strengths, what subjects he should choose. But of course, we can always tell, we can meet them once and give our suggestions based on our experience. But if you really want to know what the child is good at, you should go in for, like there are some places where they will test your aptitude and see and tell you which what the child is good at. Like Banjara Academy is one place where they actually take you through a lot of assessments, and they tell you the child has this strengths and this kind of things. That is also another option.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for both of you for answering all our questions. Here we are ending our question and answer sessions at this point of time. We have come to an end. Parents, please, due to time constraints, we are not able to. Hope we have answered all the questions. If we are not, we are very sorry. You can reach us at embrace@hurchin.com. So we will try to address your queries and hope it was a very useful session for all of you. So again, just give me a moment. So I would like to a very big thanks from team of Embrace to speakers who agreed for our request and obliged and made an effort to share their knowledge with us. Sincere thanks to volunteers who are working behind the screen to make this all happen, and heartfelt thanks for the participants who took their time to be present in this webinar. And our upcoming webinars are which is on CP. It is on 19th of September by Spastic Society of Karnataka, and webinar for mainstream school teachers over the overview of borderline difficulties faced by children in regular classroom. That is on 26th and September 3rd. That is done by Brindavan Educational Trust. So thanks everyone again. Have a good day. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
Thank
Nandita
you.
ma'am.
Thank
Yes,
you.
sir.
Pleasure being here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Is there any certificate provided, ma'am?
We don't provide